Welcome to the second episode of Wide Web World, which was surprisingly hard to make. On one hand, I despise proprietary software and closed-minded, asinine attitudes with a burning passion. But on the other hand, I also have a strict belief in freedom and property. There should be no limits as to what you do with objects, software included, that you own. I can modify my computer and the code it runs with no limits. However, private companies have a way around this that still maintains respect for private property. There's been an increasing push towards server-side applications. Chat programs are the obvious example, and that brings us to Discord, the chat platform for lonely virgins. A lot of critiques of Discord begin by pointing the finger straight at the users, the culture the website fosters, things like e-boys and e-girls, but this video is a far more technical critique of the service, its terms, and the pure evil of proprietary platforms. Let's begin with the history of Discord. All the way back in 2009, a mobile gaming platform for Android and iOS was released. It was named OpenFaint and was owned by a company of the same name. The reason I'm telling you this is because the OpenFaint company was founded by a man named Jason Citron, the same person who would go on to found Discord. In 2011, OpenFaint was sold off to a Japanese company for $104 million. Interestingly enough, the same year the company was faced with a class action lawsuit relating to violations of privacy. So I guess we can see where Discord's lack of respect for privacy comes from. Then Mr. Citron went on to found a video game company named Hammer and Chisel, which created a game called Fates Forever. The video game was a MOBA, or a multiplayer online battle arena, and marketed itself as the first ever one available for mobile devices. But after the game released in 2014, it saw very little success. It was in this moment that Jason Citron got the inspiration to create Discord. He found difficulty in the current voice over IP software which they were using in development. Some of these difficulties include typing in an IP address to connect. I hate to interject for a moment, but as game developers, surely they could have figured that one out, right? So eventually, Citron focused his team of developers on creating a better voice over IP software, and this quite obviously led to Discord. One detail often not discussed when talking about the funding of Discord is that one of their funding partners was Tencent. You know, the giant Chinese conglomerate that messes with a bunch of American game developers. As of December 2020, Discord is worth $2.5 billion and has over 200 million users. All of this because one guy didn't like typing in IP addresses to connect to a voice chat. So that's the basic history of Discord, but like I said before, I'd like to do a little bit more of a technical analysis of the platform. So now let's do the thing that everybody totally does when they sign up to any service on the internet: look through the terms of service. First off, we have the rights. The basic rights given to you are the following. You may use Discord to chat, privately or publicly, and you may use Discord to purchase and use other software and content, for example, Nitro. That's where your rights end. So let's take a look at your restrictions. You may not copy, adapt, modify, prepare derivative works based upon, distribute, license, sell, transfer, publicly display, publicly perform, transmit, stream, broadcast, attempt to discover any source code, reverse engineer, decompile, disassemble, or otherwise exploits the service of any portion of the service. That is, unless the terms of service say otherwise. Also to note, the firm operating Discord reserves the right to discontinue it at any time, temporarily or permanently. So everything is relatively common for now, nothing different from most other social medias. So then we have part 2, your account. Every Discord user has an account with a unique identifier number. No, I'm not talking about the little number after the hashtag in your username, but a genuine string of numbers used to identify individual users on Discord. Every account has a string of information attached to it along with this number. Here's an example. You have your username, then the discriminator, which is the little code after your username with the hashtag, your tag, which is those two numbers put together, your ID, which is your identifier number, your avatar, which is the ID of your profile picture, your avatar URL, which is just the link to wherever your avatar URL image is uploaded to, the creation date of your Discord account, flags, whether you have Nitro or not, your email, whether you have two-factor identification on, if you've ever been on mobile, if you have a phone number, if you're verified, if you can see NSFW channels. They also source statistics like how many servers you've been on, how many relations you have, how many friends you have, and how many people you've blocked, along with a log of all the sessions which are currently connected. Like for example, here's one with Linux running in the web or Windows running on the desktop. So as you can tell, well, Discord builds quite a portfolio of its users. It uses a string of 32 characters long to identify a session, and an 18-digit long number to identify users. Discord may also use a phone number to further verify your account, and once again has the right to delete or terminate your account temporarily or indefinitely if they so choose, without need for a reason. Here's a short one for part 3, communications. Discord reserves the right not only to collect much more data on the user, including but not limited to every message you send and receive, the time you spend in voice calls, the content of these voice calls themselves, but also the right to push marketing to you, although I have no direct examples besides them marketing their own Discord Nitro service or tags promoting political movements. It's also not allowed for a user to use the platform for marketing or spam, and Discord employs various anti-spam measures. Discord deserves the right to distribute, copy, modify, adapt, publish, translate, create derivatives, and do much more to anything you post on it, besides claim to be the original creator. This license is perpetual, never ending. The platform also acknowledges that you may be exposed to content you find offensive, and it's not their responsibility to police this, but more on that now. Let's begin with the Discord community guidelines and then move on to additional rules detailed in the terms. The Discord community guidelines forbid organizing or coordinating in servers that revolve around hate speech. This mostly refers to race, ethnicity, national origin, sex, gender, religion, and disability. Making threats of violence or harm, evading bans or blocks, and sending malware. The guidelines also detail rules for content on the platform. You must apply the NSFW filter appropriately. You must not sexualize minors. You must not share NSFW content with people without their consent. You must not use a Discord for an extremist organization. You must not share images of gore or extreme cruelty. You must not use a server for selling of prohibited goods. You must not promote or distribute software that aids in hacking or cracking. Just basically don't do anything illegal. The rest of the rules are pretty straightforward. Don't sell your account, don't use bots to access Discord, don't violate intellectual property law, and don't spam. Discord also has some oddly specific guidelines written out in their terms of service as well, such as don't exploit or publicly inform people of bugs in video games that may give someone an unfair advantage. Really weird? Now, a lot of the rest of the terms of service is boring legal stuff and other obvious things, like Discord isn't responsible for you having a dispute on their platform and doesn't endorse the third-party content they use, and how their use of virtual currency is legally valid. However, there is a part of the terms of service I deliberately left out, so I could touch upon it here. That's right, we're talking about client mods. Discord's policy on client-side modifications has got to be one of the most disgustingly restrictive ones I've ever seen. You're telling me that it's perfectly fine for someone to write a bot that is able to extract information about someone's account and post it publicly, including date of creation and time active, but it's not fine for someone to build in the exact same functionality into a modified client? What exactly is so hurtful about theming your program or running it in the terminal? What exactly is the reason for the asinine rule besides just getting everyone to use your version of the client? What about the countless hours and work developers have put into making themes and plugins? What about the countless plugins made to help people with disabilities to use your service because you were too lazy to add proper accessibility features yourself? If there's an ultimate example of how proprietary and restrictive licensing can be so destructive, it's Discord. But you know what's far worse than these restrictive rules for a platform that millions use every day? It's the fact that it remains a hive mind of children and man-children alike, defending this legal document as if it was a religious text or the Constitution. Reddit comments full of white knighting the gigantic intrusive company. I don't think I've ever seen a group of people more obsessed with the technicalities on their platform. The closest comparison is YouTube. I think this deleted Reddit user put it best in the comment to a question asking how to theme the program. The developers don't want their mistakes fixed. They want to dictate how you use their clients. Wanna blur NSFW? Send a do not track request? Get notifications when your friends are online? Want an interface that someone with dyslexia can read more easily? No, I'm sorry, that's against our terms of use. You're going to have to stick with our one and only way to experience the service, with all of its flaws. What about the countless GitHub repositories already set up making custom clients and themes for Discord? What about the websites and YouTube tutorials doing the exact same thing? Something like the YouTube DMCA takedown makes me think that a lot of these things are about to become much harder to pull off. Most information I could gather about working at Discord made it appear like a very nice place to be employed. They tout medical insurance, parental leave, community contributions, and various other benefits for working there. However, not everyone was super happy with the relatively casual nature of the company. Oh boy, this topic. I'm surprised it's not covered as commonly as it is when people talk about Discord. It's sort of glazed over for some reason, but I'm gonna get into the details here. Now, it all began with a YouTuber named Quackity who got banned off Discord relatively arbitrarily, or supposedly because of all the raids he promoted. So it's begun. The world's eyes are pointed at Discord, and what was about to come out was pretty shocking. You see, Discord's admin team, responsible for moderating content on the platform, was also full of furries. And who knew? A lot of these furry administrators are biased towards furry content, even if it broke the rules. Please cover your ears at this moment if you do not want to hear something absolutely disgusting. So as we checked before, Discord has an absolutely zero tolerance on child pornography. You know, like any mature, common sense, morally non-ambiguous entity out there. But it turns out this policy, and they would continue to justify this even after changing it, doesn't account for furry child pornography. Because supposedly, because it's animals, it magically doesn't make it illegal anymore. And as you can obviously tell, the second this message came out, a lot of people got upset. This is a member of the Discord administration team, and in late January 2019, this screenshot leaked. This individual right here is responding to a question relating to furry child pornography and states that they do not consider cub to be a violation of their terms or guidelines. By February, our dear friends over there at the press were already talking about it, and there were YouTube videos coming out, and they were using a hashtag #ChangeDiscord, and slowly and surely, all of these questionable decisions and questionable bans and questionable policies with weird exceptions began to come under fire. And by February 13th, the terms were changed, and suddenly, child pornography of all kinds was no longer permitted. It took them 4 years to get this right. They also stated they wanted to be more open with their administration's decisions about just randomly banning people for no reason. And like I said before, they would continue to justify their decision to initially not ban all kinds of child pornography in their statement. Just the complete audacity of this firm put on display for the whole world to see. But hey, some pretty good memes came out of it. I realize a lot of the reason people watch my channel is because they're passionate about software freedom or free and open source software and all this kind of stuff. So a lot of you avoid using Discord, and rightfully so. It is objectively spyware, like most messaging applications that are proprietary. But the thing is that the majority of the human population, and especially users on the internet, don't care. They don't care for privacy, or the fact that this software is spyware, or the fact that it restricts extensions that people work hours and months writing. No, what matters to the average user is what platform are my friends using. I'll install that and then get along with my day. And I know that to most of you that sounds perfectly reasonable, and that's why most people choose platforms like Discord or Skype that are quite awful. No, the solution isn't some alternative, equally proprietary software or some new project that aims to respect free speech and magically be a safe haven for everyone who gets banned off Discord. No, the same way YouTube alternatives never work, a lot of these chat alternatives often just fail or don't have enough users. My recommendation to you, the average user, is be more critical of what's put in front of you. Question why things are this way, or why this is allowed or this isn't allowed. You should always be critical. This whole video is meant to outline flaws of the service, and the only way I was able to do that is because I was being critical. If you or anyone else stop being critical, then people with this power are inevitably going to become more corrupt and do more bad things. Like I said at the beginning of this video was sort of hard to make, because on one side, these companies have the complete right to do whatever they want with these servers and run them however they want because they are theirs. Obviously, they can't break the laws of their own nation, but it's pretty unrightful for a government or any entity to come out there and say, hey, you have to allow this, or you cannot allow that, simply out of moral obligation. But at the same time, I despise all their practices and all their terms and all their controversies. So my true recommendation to you is, when possible, try to do things yourself. Maybe if you have some tech expertise, try running your own chat server, whether it be with Matrix or just simple IRC. There's guides out there, and I'll link some in the description for you. As more people realize that services around them are spying on them, have horrible terms, and are doing things like stopping people from enhancing them when they're broken, it means more people will start to question why they're even relying on somebody else's servers and why they're not doing their own thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Wide Web World episode on Discord. I'm gonna make more of these. Leave any suggestions in the comments below. I've been Denshi. Goodbye.